Hello everyone, this is Venom and we are here with our first Monster Hunter Wilds tutorial. Now the purpose of this video series is going to be me going through and showing you each fight where I'm going to show you each monster. I'm going to show you kind of the ins and outs of fighting them. I'm also going to be giving a tutorial on the lance as well. Now for you newer players, this series is really for you, as well as anybody who wants to learn how to play with the lance. Now my recommendation for new players or new hunters who are kind of unsure on what weapon to use, I highly recommend the lance. It is a very simple weapon. It is, on the surface, a very defensive weapon, but if you get proficient with it, you will very quickly realize that it is also a very offensive weapon, too. The lance is able to do some things that other weapons cannot. It's not a very technical weapon. It's very simple to learn, hard to master, but it is worth doing so. So, today, I'm going to go over the basics of the lance. As we do these hunts, I'm going to be wearing gear appropriate for that level, so you can kind of see that the things I'm doing are viable. And we're going to start the whole thing off. We're going to fight a Chatacabra today. That's going to be the first monster that you fight out of the tutorial, or out of the first cutscene. And again, I'm going to be showing you a little lance tutorial here. It won't be 100% everything, but I will be showing some more advanced stuff later on. Once we finish this up, we're going to go and fight a Chatacabra. I kind of show you guys the ins and outs of it. It's not going to be too difficult. It's a very simple monster, but that's where I'm going to go ahead and put the lance tutorial in here as well. Now, first up, the lance is a very defensive weapon on the surface. Like I said, it's got a long lance and a shield. The lance has the highest base guard in the game. The basic block is going to be holding down the right trigger. That's going to be your basic guard. Okay. From there, your triangle is going to be your basic thrust attack. That's going to be your low thrust. Circle is going to be your high thrust. Now, sorry, that is a different move. There we go. There's your basic high thrust. You can do 3 of those. You can link them together in a combo. You can do the low thrust 3 times. You can do the high thrust 3 times. Sorry, again, a different one. I did it too soon. Here we go. High thrust 3 times. And then, after you do either the low thrust or high thrust 3 times, you can do a finisher thrust as well. So, you just press triangle one more time after either one of those combos. So, low thrust, one more triangle, finisher thrust there. Or with the high thrust, high thrust, high thrust, high thrust, and then finisher thrust there. Now, the lance has a really cool dash attack. If you hit Y and B along with your guard, you will do this run forward. You will charge at the enemy using up stamina. You're going to run really fast. You will continuously hit whatever you're attacking if it's a big monster. And you can also do a jump attack. Hold down forward and hit jump, and you launch in the air, and you can then do a mid-air attack. So I'll do it right here. There we go. Hold jump, and then boom, dash attack in midair. So this actually helps you mount the monsters as well. If you hold down forward and then hit triangle and block, you would do a little dash forward. During that dash, you can do one of 2 things. You can go through it, and you can hit triangle again, and you will do a shield bash. Or instead, if you hit circle, you would do a lance thrust. So I can dodge again, and you would do a lance thrust. While you are dodging forward there, your shield will be out, so you will block any incoming attack. So you can kind of time that to push through an enemy guard. That does help you kind of push through some attacks an enemy might do, and then go ahead and combo up into it, but we'll talk more about that later. Now, the lance does not roll like other weapons do. Instead, you get a little dash back. Just hitting it will dash you backwards by default. If you hit forward, you'll dash forward. If you hit side to side, you'll dash side to side. Now, you can dodge 3 times in a row, and then the game makes you take a little break for a second, and then you can dodge again. Now, you can it just makes you stop dodging for like 1 dodge, so it's not really a lot, but in the heat of battle, it is important. So 3 dodges, break, 3 dodges, break. Now, something to keep in mind, while you're kind of dodging around, if you are attacking a monster and you're trying to dodge, it is kind of hard to reposition. You do kind of have to stop and take a second to reposition and face a monster. It does help using the focus camera to reposition a monster, or reposition onto a monster. You can do that even mid combo. It is really helpful to do that. It is really easy to get stuck in one direction. You keep trying to hit the combo and you think you're turning. You're not really turning that much. Use that focus. That focus is going to be the left trigger. Alright, a couple more things and then we're going to be done. The focus mode. Focus mode is going to be important for every weapon in Monster Hunter. While we're fighting monsters, if we open up wounds on them, if you hold down the left trigger, you will go into a focus mode and be able to see where those are at. If you then hit the right bumper, you will do a very special attack. It's the focus attack. You are trying to aim to hit that red or blue dot, depending on where you're at in the game. If you connect with it, you do a special focus attack. Sometimes you'll knock down a monster. Sometimes you may push them, but you also break the wounds and you would do a lot of damage. So that is going to be your focus mode. It's going to be very important for every weapon. Every weapon has something different it does for focus mode. Charge Blade, for example, it's how you activate its Savage Axe mode. Every weapon's got something different. Alright, finally, last two things I need to talk about. When you're in your guard, you can actually do a counter. Now, this is not one we're going to talk about too much at the beginning in the first couple fights, but that is going to be a very important move to remember. Now, to enter your counter stance is going to be the circle button along with your shield button. That's going to put you into this counter stance. Now, this counter stance is going to charge up, and in Wilds, it does not seem to have an end. Now, in previous games, this would actually end after just a couple of seconds. If you mistimed your counter, you would actually be wide open. There was an out to that, but it looks like we do not have a limit for that anymore. So once you put up your counter, it'll stay there until any enemy hits it. Now, once the enemy hits it, you are going to come out of it and do a counter thrust. And I'm going to demonstrate that here in just a second. And there we go. Block the damage. Automatically thrust back. And from there, you can get right into your new combos. Counter. Block the damage. Now, the final move is going to be a super guard. To go into that, you're going to go into your counter stance, and then you're going to hit X on the PlayStation. That's going to put you into this counter guard. The power guard. And it's going to be able to block all incoming damage coming from any direction. Now, it is going to eat up stamina, so keep that one in mind. Okay, that's it. Like I said, that was a very, very basic rundown of the Lance. Bring that up again. This is going to be mainly for new players. It's going to be good for you to go ahead and come around and see, kind of go to the training area, see what the Lance can do, and really get a feel for it. It does feel a little bit different than other weapons, but it is worth getting used to it. Alright, that's going to do it for the mini Lance tutorial. We're going to go ahead and get right into the first monster. That's going to be the Chatacabra. This is going to be the monster you're going to fight right after the opening cutscene. So I'm going to be wearing the gear, and only the gear that you'll be getting from that. And yeah, we're going to go right into the fight. I've also got the same weapon you'll be getting, that you'll be starting with. So we're going to fight it, and you're going to see that it is very easily beaten. Alright, the first monster we're going to be hunting is going to be the Chatacabra. Now, the Chatacabra has got a couple weak points. It has got a tongue that it likes to lash out at you. That will be one weak point, and you can also break its two forelegs. Going over here, you can see all the things that it is affected by. Its recommended element attacks are going to be ice and thunder. That means it's going to be weak to those, and it's pretty much every single thing you can use against it is effective except for sonic bombs. If you ever want to learn more about a monster, definitely check out your large monster field guide. It has got everything you need to know about a monster once you start hunting it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and call our Sacred over. Now, these are going to be kind of informal videos. I'm not going to be doing a lot of editing, like editing out mistakes. Like if I get knocked on my butt over by cart or something, I want you guys to see that. I'm not like a speedrunner or anything like this. I'm just an average hunter, but I've got a bit of experience, and I can kind of help you guys with that if you're not used to the game like this. So, it's not like I'm perfect. I am going to definitely make some mistakes, but I want you guys to see that as well. So, here's a Chatacabra. Keep in mind, I just put this gear on. It has got no skills on it. I've just got the basic gear you're going to start with. I got to get back used to not having any of my skills, but it should not be hard. So we're basically going to, for our first fight, we're basically going to get used to using your shield and just using your basic combos. Try to use your combos and then block. Just keep your shield up until you're comfortable. You can turn and face the monster using your joystick, so you're not like locked in place. Wait till you kind of get used to see what the monster does, and then you will use your combos when you can. See, here's one big weakness with the Lance, and it's not a huge one, but it does get annoying when there's like bugs and stuff around. It's not a great weapon for like a lot of insects and stuff like this. It's not really a good weapon like AoE swipes. It's got like one swipe you can do, and typically it would be triangle and circle. It's been very hit and miss I've seen in Wilds. Now, I rarely ever use the move, but still. Now, right now, I'm just focusing on the Chatacabra. What you want to do is kind of avoid his sprint, avoid that tongue. He's a very, very easy monster to fight, but he is kind of small. He telegraphs his hits quite a bit, though, so it's not usually too bad. Now, right here, you new hunters, you can kind of see there's an X on him. That means he's got a wound on him. If I go into focus mode, wait for his attack, you can kind of see that glowing red on his head. There you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my focus mode, hit that focus attack, and it's going to do the special Lance attack here. There you go. So you smash him in the face, you kind of run at the monster, then you thrust at him. Now, keep in mind, this is something even for you veteran hunters. If you're having issue hitting your focus attacks, use focus mode and keep focusing on the monster, okay? That helps a lot, especially with stuff like Charge Blade and SAD. Go into focus mode, and you can focus those attacks, and it's really, really nice. Alright, so right now I'm just keeping the pressure up on the monster. He's really easy to knock down. Again, this is just a basic weapon. There's no skills or anything on him. Just like I said, just guard, wait for him to attack. When you're sure he's done attacking, go ahead and try to hit him a combo. Your low thrusts are going to be really good here. You can high thrust, but you're going to want to be a bit closer to the monster for that, which luckily for the Lance, it's really easy for you to do. And the high thrusts are the stronger thrust. Now, if you do a 3 thrust combo, I forgot to say, and then you hit a circle, I forgot that is also an ending to the thrust combo. So you can do oop, I got nothing in my butt. Let's see, should be the low. Yep, there you go. You can do the low 3, and then you can end with the circle. So you can mix and match them. So just keep up the poking. Eventually, your Palico's going to say he's getting weak. It might try to run away, but just keep up the pressure. Now, the Lance, I'm going to admit, is when you first start, going to be a bit of a boring weapon. I mean, it's going to be a lot of poking. You see, I'm doing a lot of poking here. Poke, guard, poke, guard. A lot of this is just learning the monster, but you're gonna learn this. You're gonna be able to learn his patterns a lot easier behind the shield, and capitalize on that pretty easy with the range of your lance. So just poke, guard. Once you learn the monster a bit more, you can spend more time attacking, when the monster's attacks gonna collide. Some monsters in Monster Hunter, they're like Elden Ring bosses. There's a couple that, even me, an experienced hunter, I don't necessarily like fighting, because even now, having hunted them a lot, it can still throw me off, those attacks. You can see I got another focus spot. I got a couple focus spots here. I got a couple wounds here that I can attack. Now, once you use your focus attack, it's going to break the wounds, but sometimes... Well, I'm going to admit, sometimes, I thought it broke them all the time, but occasionally I will break them, and then it looks like another one opens up, so I don't know if that damage opens it, or it just didn't break it, but... And the monster's trying to run, so I'm going to hit it again in that wound again, see if I can keep him here. And he's going to run, so... now, we can do that, the lance dash, and try to catch up to him. Now, it does work if you can get to him quick enough. You'll get a couple hits off of him, but for the most part, once the monster starts running, you're really not going to be able to catch him. So go ahead and call your Sacred over. Use that time on your Sacred to sharpen your weapon. If you're low on health, you can use one of your potions you got. You should start with a couple of potions. Now, when the monster is low on health, you're going to be able to capture it, or you're going to be able to go ahead and slay it. You can tell it's low on health because it comes back to its den, and in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the mini-map. The monster's got skulls over it. That means it's low on health. So from here, you can slay it, or you can capture it. In your opening mission, you're going to have to slay it. So go ahead and keep attacking the monster until you're done. If you're feeling comfortable, you can try to work in your counters and start getting those going. It's going to take you a little bit to time them. It's a lot more forgiving, like I said. You can stay in that mode forever, but the longer you're in there, the longer you're in that mode, the less time you're doing damage to the monster. So that's why you still want to make sure you time it correctly. So it is more forgiving. Like I said, if you're too sloppy with it, you're just wasting time. So keep attacking it. Now, you really want to get used to repositioning with the lance. Now, the lance is a very heavy weapon. You move slowly with it initially, but you guys can see I'm not typically having too much time maneuvering with this thing. I can reposition. I can kind of avoid his head, or if I want to, I can stay on his head. Keep attacking. I'm able to utilize my counters. I can use the dashes to my advantage. There you go, dash right there, reposition. When you do the dash forward, you can actually dash in any direction and then do the attack. So if you want to do the triangle block in any direction, you can dash in that direction. There you go. I just dash that direction, and then I dash, reposition, and attack. There you go. And monster's going to be done in no time. Now, when you slay a monster, you get to carve it 3 times. Just walk over to the carcass, hold down B, and then it's going to carve up the parts out the monster. You can get some rare parts. Again, the monster guide will tell you what you can and cannot get. Some parts you only get by trapping, some you can only get by carving, and some you just have different. You're going to get different rewards depending on whether you trap it or whether you slay it. So, yeah, that is pretty much it for today's tutorial. Again, we're going to be doing all the monsters. I'm going to be doing all of them with the lance. So as we go, we're going to be learning more and more about the lance. You're going to get more and more proficient with it. Now, if you want to stop using the lance at any time and do a different weapon, that's fine. You're kind of going to be on your own to, you know, have recommendations for what weapons to use at that point. I mean, do whatever you want to use. Still tell you what elements are going to be best for the monsters. We're going to still look at those guys. We're going to prep before each hunt. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you all for coming by, and I will see you all on the next hunt.